Hello friends, welcome back. It's time for another episode of BigDenoPlays. I'm a little under the weather today, but I'm still excited to be playing some Kingdom Death Monster. This is my first time using the Frogdog, which is a very cool and crazy model. We are going to start a campaign, which I talked about in my last episode. So we have our showdown set up, which is the Prologue Frogdog, which if you said 5 times fast would get very challenging. We're still waiting on a name. Carlifax tossed up High Rollersburg, or Hot Rollersburg, I can't recall. That doesn't work for me. That's just normal rolling. So if we're going to have a look at our survivors, we've got 4 brave survivors joining our fight. We've got Hammer, Lily, Mossy, and Tsunami. They were picked by my beautiful girlfriend. She picked the names of some of them. We've obviously got our little survivor area with our founding stones and our cloth, and the Frogdog all set up to go. It has twitching digit flexors kept on top to start the showdown. And it also has wet slap starting on top as well. Love a wet slap. So I played about 2 or 3 turns of this yesterday to try and wrap my head around the Frogdog. But this will be all new for me as well as you. There's a few questions that cropped up, which I'll no doubt ask as we progress. But let's go over to the books area and we can check out this amazing artwork of the Frogdog chomping on a white lion's head. How fun. No, so if we read here, a monster appears from the darkness and devours the white lion. The starting survivors battle the Prologue Frogdog instead of the first story white lion. I've built the custom deck list. 7 toughness is a real kick in the teeth. I've created the fart deck. I've created the hit location deck, and I've placed these traits in play. I have also set up this with the Mammoth Leaf terrain tiles, a Copperfish Den, and then because we are on our 15th campaign, or 17th or something, we have a Survivor Corpse. We are supposed to also have +1 accuracy from ocular parasites. However, specifically says when you face the white lion, it gets a +1 damage token. So I'm just going to pretend that I don't have ocular parasites and give +1 accuracy to everyone. Because otherwise it seems like the Frogdog gets a bit of an advantage, or would get a disadvantage, I should say. All right, so we'll just review these 4 cards. Gaseous Bloat. So all that one is take a card from the fart deck, which I've just got here. I'll shuffle that, I guess. And put it on the Sphincter. And if you run out of cards in this fart deck, bad things happen. The Sphincter itself tells you that at the start of the monster's turn, if there's any farts on that card, you play them. Foul Stench on arrival. Unfortunately, there is no arrival benefits because no one has stinky gear. But if you do have stinky gear, you would gain a stink token for each stinky gear in your gear grid. And finally, Leap, and this is the one that gave me some trouble yesterday. You place the Frogdog onto one of these leaves, randomly determined, and it then lands bloop, and damages everyone adjacent. So if it was adjacent to this one, it would damage that one. So what it does have a tendency to do is then also do a grab. So it's picking people up and jumping around. I think the way that it works is Leap causes damage to survivors adjacent, and then at the end of the leap, you do the grab. So that survivor doesn't suffer 2 damage or 2 instances of damage. That's what I think anyway. let's commence. So if we have a look at wet slap, which is here, you can see wet slap is the closest stinky threat in range, or the closest survivor in range. And we have deployed with Lily right in front of the Frogdog. So Lily will be the target of this wet slap, which is speed 3, hitting on a 5+. So that is 2 hits. So Lily has been hit in the waist and the head. I think Lily is going to dodge the head and take 1 damage to the waist. Then the monster will perform Gaseous Bloat. So Gaseous Bloat, place the top card of the fart deck face down on double sphincter. Boom. There are still farts left in the deck, so that is all. Now the other part of this rule is when a monster suffers a wound from the heinous origin, a squealing emission dissipates harmlessly. Discard the top card on the fart deck on double sphincter. So punching it in the butt is the go. Monster's turn over. All right. So we'll start by getting some 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll have a look at the survivor corpse. We'll scavenge it. So we roll a 5, which is gain 2 insanity and a random basic resource. So that's Mossy, 2 insanity, and a random basic resource. A perfect hide with its supreme texture. Nice way to start. Pop that there actually. All right. So the survivor corpse is removed. Now this is a copperfish den. So you roll 1d10 and you can potentially pick up some burnished encephalomata. But you can also suffer a random severe arm injury. So we'll leave that one for the moment and we'll see how things go. We're going to start our Lily. She's going to swing with her founding stone. Actually, we know that the twisting digit flexes is on top of the deck, and there is a wound penalty if the attacker is not in the monster's blind spot. So we will actually start with Tsunami. 1, 2, 3. Into the heinous origin. Tsunami's just going to use his founding stone. So hitting on 6s because it's in the blind spot. That's a 1 and a 2. It's not a great start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So can't do anything about that. Do we do a critical? Yep. So Lily is going to go throw her founding stone, which if we look at the twisting digit flexes, is limp digits flap with satisfying futility. A persistent injury comes into play. So it does a wound. And then she's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 onto the lily pad. Last person to activate is Hammer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Punching in the side, we'll use the founding stone there. Going to remove her founding stone. Hammer, hitting on 7s. That's a 9 and a 6. So There is a wound reaction. Perform leap and then gaseous bloat. So it's toughness 7, 1 strength on the founding stone. So we need a 6+ to do a wound. We roll a 5, so we do not do a wound. And that is, unfortunately, the end of our first turn. So starting, we now do the first fart card, and that is a putrid emission. The horror of drowning in a miasma thick with corpses, flailing wildly for a relief that does not come. Target the survivor the fewest spaces from the heinous origin. They suffer monster level damage to the arm's hit location and gain a stink token. So Tsunami gains a stink token. Which means he will now be the target for a lot of things. There's no more fart cards, so we move on to its AI card. Gnashing and barking. The target is the farthest stinky threat. Well, there's only one stinky threat, so that means he is the target. And the Frogdog will move to attack the target. 3 speed, hitting on a 5+. We have no evasion. 2 hits, and it is hitting on the waist and the hand. So Tsunami will dodge the hand, take 1 damage to the waist, and then the monster's eyes bulge with exertion. It barks madly. Roll 1d10 for each survivor in the monster's facing. On a 4+, that survivor suffers monster level brain damage. So you can see that Tsunami is 1. Tsunami does not roll a 4+. And Mossy, oh, that was a 1. Mossy does roll a 4, so she will suffer monster level brain damage. And that is her done. Our turn. Well, we're now going to use the lily pad rule, the mammoth leaf. It's indestructible. So we can actually use both our movement and our activation to bounce on the surface of the leaf. You place your survivor in an unoccupied space 7 spaces away. Boing. Boing. Right into the heinous origin. So you activate a weapon and attack with +3 strength. So we'll activate our founding stone. She's thrown her founding stone, so she can't. So she's just going to have to use her fist and tooth. So she hits on 7+. A 9 and a 10. A perfect hit. A festering thigh. And a festering throat. So, failure, if the attacker is sane, they gain the aproctophilia disorder. That doesn't sound ideal. Failure. Adjacent insane survivors. All right. Well, so we are wounding on a 4 because we have +3 strength, and we are critting on a 9 because we have used our fist and tooth. So we'll do the festering throat first. So that's a 7, which is a wound, which means we do not suffer the failure reaction. And the festering thigh is the same. It's a 4 to wound and a 9 to crit. That's a critical. Barely hidden ligaments pulse with pain. The monster gains a -1 movement token. Yeah. You little idiot. Gain a random Frogdog resource. Yeah. So the leaves are absolutely sensational when you can get them jumping along. That was in the heinous origin, but there are no fart cards on the fart deck, so we don't have to do anything about that. A waxy dermis. So Good work from Lily. Tsunami. Okay, we'll do Mossy. She's just going to walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 onto that lily pad, ready to jump and do the same thing there. We will use hammer. 1, 2, 3, 4 into the rear. Hammer will go, do we go fist and tooth? No, I think we'll go founding stone. So hitting on 6s with the founding stone. So that is a 4 and a 9. So we get twitching back. All adjacent survivors gain a stink token if we do a wound. So we're wounding on 6s, critting on a 10. That is a 10. The bulging, hyperextended muscles of the monster's back snap. The monster gains a -1 evasion token. Sometimes I wish I streamed more because it's just great stuff. Gain a random Frogdog resource. Good stuff. We get a tatty hide. It's stretched and worn out. That's a shame. Good work, hammer. Alrighty, so our last person to attack is Tsunami. We'll just stay where Tsunami will stay where he is. Using his founding stone, rolls a 9. Our other one's a 9 as well. And an 8. 2 hits with the founding stone. Glorious. Festering sinuses and the festering gas stomach. That's a death blow location. Cool. All right. Adjacent insane survivors. There's no one's insane. So this is wounding on a 6 from the festering sinuses. Critting on a 10. That's a 4. So that is a failure. So adjacent insane survivors suffer a penalty. However, there is no one that's insane. There's no critical on this location, so we'll roll a 1 and fail to wound. He will then move over here onto the lily pad. Good turn. What is the monster going to draw? Just a taste. The closest stinky survivor. Very good. So we know that it is Tsunami. Move and attack. 1, 2, 3 goes to there. 3 speed, hitting on a 5+. 2 hits. We have no survival left, so this could be bad times for our brave Tsunami. Body and hand. So the hand is a heavy injury, which will cause Tsunami to be knocked down. After damage, a supple but powerful tongue bowls over the target. Target suffers bash and monster level brain damage. So just a taste is done. All right, it's time to pile on. So I think we'll do Mossy. She hasn't swung a fist in anger yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she'll use the boing from the lily pad. We will use fist and tooth, I think, because there is a -1 evasion token and we're in the blind spot. So we're hitting on 8s, 7s, 6s. It's a 7 and an 8. Come on, Mossy. Come on. All right, we have a reflex. So yeah, wounding on a 4 and critting on a 9. Yep, so we'll do the festering shoulder and the festering maw. Wounding on a 4. So that's a 4, it's a wound. The monster sings its woe in sour, gravelly notes. Adjacent insane survivors. There is no insane survivors. Good work, Mossy. This is a reflex. She could be about to get a proctophilia. Unless she can roll a 9. No. She fails to wound as well. Festering maw. If the attacker is sane, they gain the eproctophilia disorder. Mossy, eproctophilia, what does that do? When you gain a stink token, gain an insanity, you must depart with stinky gear in your gear grid. Okay. We'll bounce as well. We'll use Fist and Tooth. That's an 8 and a 4. Oh, the trap. All survivors are doomed. All adjacent survivors suffer monster level brain damage. So Mossy suffers 1 brain damage. Hammer suffers 1 brain damage. And finally, Tsunami suffers a brain damage, which will trigger a roll on the brain severe injury table. And he rolls a 6. Danger seizure. You thrash about wildly, dealing 1 damage to yourself and every adjacent survivor. Gain a random disorder. 1 to the hand. Oh no, he's got a severe injury on the arms now. And 1d5 insanity. So the 1d5 insanity is 1. And the arm severe injury is a 2, which is death. Tsunami, unfortunately, dead. Good work. Dead. All right, the Carbuncle Cough, and now perform basic action targeting the attacker. So the basic action we'll have a look at while I'm shuffling this. Basic action, speed 3, 5+, 1 damage. So this is on Hammer, speed 3, 1 singular hit, which hits Hammer in the waist, which is fine. And then at the end of that, it performs Gaseous Bloat, which is to take a fart and put it on the sphincter. Last person to go is Lily. She's only got Fist and Tooth, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's in the rear, so she's going to hit on 6s because of the -1 evasion token. She rolls double 10, 2 perfect hits, a reflex, and the twitching mammary sac. The mammary sac will do first. Monster gains -2 toughness tokens. All right, so we're a 9 to crit and a 7 to wound. It's a 5, so that's a fail. It's a shame, that would have been awesome. And a 6, which is also a fail. So reflex, the monster's carbuncles spit a thin black plasma. All adjacent survivors gain a stink token. So that is, everyone gains a stink token. And if the attacker is sane, Lily is sane, she has also gained eproctophilia. All right. So that's the end of the round. The monster will draw an AI card. Before he does an AI card, though, he actually has a fart. So the fart card is Blooming Emission. Target a survivor the fewest spaces from the heinous origin. They suffer monster level damage to the body and gain a stink token. Lily, you stink. Gasping and bloodshot, they stagger away and suffer the flea brain trauma. Flea, you are knocked down. Gain 1d5 insanity. She gains 2 insanity. And she flees towards the table edge. All right, so that's that fart done. And the monster draws just a taste. The closest stinky survivor We can do either. Mossy or Hammer both have their survival in play for a dodge. Who's got Insanity? Mossy is the target. 3 speed, hitting on a 5. That's 2 hits. And the targets are the head and the body. Mossy will dodge the swing on the head and take 1 damage to the body. Then she suffers bash and monster level brain damage. There is no bloodied palate. Unfortunately, she is knocked down. So we don't have Encourage. So we've only got Hammer Sandwich at the moment. So Mossy's going to stay knocked down. Lily's going to stay knocked down. Guess it's just Hammer. Did she gain a stink token there? No. All right, Hammer's going to swing with his Founding Stone. 9 and a 10. Festering Thigh. The Festering Fingernail. Lots of Proctophilias here. Don't enjoy that. Failure, no. Cool, so that's a 4, which is a failure. All adjacent survivors gain a stink token. Another Eproctophilia. So 2 stink tokens there. Stink token, stink token. And Mossy gains an Insanity out of that because she gained a stink token. And then the Festering Fingernail. That is a 6, which is a wound because of +1 strength. And again, all adjacent survivors gain a stink token, which means Mossy will gain another Insanity. It's a good turn. That's it, the monster goes. We've got 3 wounds left. So he's going to flip that. We'll move to the lily pad actually. Wet Slap. Closest stinky threat in range. It is our target hammer. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to there. Three speed, hitting on a 5+. That's 2 hits. Head and boots. Head and boots. Do we dodge the head? Yeah, we'll dodge the head with our survival. And now there is a gaseous bloat. So the monster will take another fart on its fart card. All right. Everyone stands up. Boom. Boom. We'll just do her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we'll do hammer. He's going to use the bounce, boing, into the heinous origin, and he'll swing with his founding stone. 5 is a hit, thanks to the -1 evasion. The 1 is a miss. The twitching coarse crest. So we're +4 strength, so we're wounding on a 3+. And critting on a 10. That's a 10. The agitated dog poles sniff out in the gloom. The dog poles seek out any stinky survivors adjacent to the monster and nurse helplessly on their hapless surrogates. Horror and surprising sympathy overwhelm the survivors. If any surrogates are insane, they gain +1 luck. I think Mossy... Did I miss a stink token? Should Mossy be insane there? She get +1 luck. That's tremendous. I'm going to go and have a look at the thing because she may actually be insane. It's a critical. I'm going to go look at the tape. Stand by. Indeed, I did miss one. Mossy is now insanity 3, which means she is insane, which means she just gained +1 luck from that critical because she's nursing all of the little frog dogs. Good on you, Mossy. We've got 2 wounds to do. Mossy's going to go. She's in the rear. She'll swing with fist and tooth. Why not? +1 luck. What a legend. Go, Mossy. A 9 and an 8. It's all happening. It's all happening. Oh, there's a failure. Oh, all right. Well, we'll definitely do it in this order. She's critting on 8s now. She's critting on 8s. So the frog dog is stunned. The monster is knocked down. Yeah, we want that. We also did a wound whilst in the double sphincter, so we discard that fart. All right, so Mossy critting on 8s, wounding on 7s. So the festering heal, that's a 4, so it's no wound. So we'd really, really love to do this. Festering exposed gums. Oh, it's a 7. It's a wound, so we avoid the failure, but it's not a crit. 1 wound to do. Survive this round, and it's going to be a very positive outcome. It's just a basic action for the monster. Random stinky survivor in range. Everyone is stinky, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's Mossy. Don't you fucking hurt my little girl, you dickhead. 3 speed, 5+. Three hits. Oh, if Mossy dies, I'm going to be absolutely devastated. Waste hand body. Waste. Oh, hand body. So she's knocked down, but she does not have to roll a severe injury. Perform gaseous bloat. Another fart goes onto the double sphincter. 1 wound to do. 1 wound to do. We'll bounce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into the rear. Hitting with fist and tooth. Come on. 2 hits. Don't be the trap. Don't be the trap. Twitching Achilles tendon. Oh, the trap, you fuck, Deno. Oh, you fuck. All survivors are doomed. All adjacent survivors suffer 1 brain damage. So Mossy suffers a brain damage. Lily suffers a brain damage. And I think Hammer actually should have got a couple of insanity as well because he's got a proctophilia. So I didn't check that, but I'm going to assume he's on 0 as well. I'll check that later, and if it's proved to be wrong, I'll edit. So perform basic action, targeting the attacker. What an absolute shit show. Another gaseous bloat coming up. Alrighty. We don't really mind if Lily dies. She didn't just pick up +1 luck. Hitting on 5s. 9, 5, 9. Blech. Body, waist, hand. Body, knockdown, waist, hand. It all comes down to Hammer. Perform gaseous bloat. Another fart. If Hammer can't get this done, we are going to lose some survivors. Hammer, come on, mate. Founding stone in the rear, hitting on 5s in the heinous origin. A 6 and a 2. He's got 1 chance to do it. It's the festering throat. Come on, buddy. Yeah. It's a critical, actually. The frog dog lets out a hoarse squeal. All non-deaf survivors gain 3 insanity. That's fun. Sad frog dog song. Well, we won the fight, but we actually have to go over here and look up sad frog dog song. This is fun. What is that? Here we go. Sad frog dog song. The high-pitched whistle and the emission seem to stretch in a frozen moment, sounding slower and lower. The aroma stretches like gaseous fingers, probing every nostril, wrapping around their olfactory bulbs and tightening its hold until the puny sense organ is forever warped. Any scent will bring tears to your eyes. Every reminisce will smell of sadness. Gain proctophilia, which he already has, and breathe deep. Okay, I guess we're breathing deep. And we roll an 8, the 7+. The monster exhales through its heinous origin, emptying its straining lungs. It conjures its most painful memories to fuel its ultimate defense. Anyone the odor reaches experience suffering seasoned by the monster's despair, implanted directly into their amygdala. You learn to harness your despair, gain the sad frog dog secret fighting art. This has been an outstanding start. Absolutely outstanding. The first time you attack each round, add the values of your failed attack rolls to the strength of this attack. Yeah. All right. So we have successfully completed the showdown. Let's go back to 4 basic resources, 4 frog dog resources, and 1 white lion resource. Great. Everyone gains 1 hunt XP, and we will return and advance the year. So I'm just going to roll a random white lion resource on this list here. So I think we'll just roll a dice and see what it is. It's a 3, 1, 2, 3, golden whiskers. Perfect. Then we will flip out 4 of these. What an interesting fight. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 basic. We've got plenty to do in this settlement phase. Love juice, perfect. And anything, a monster hide, and a broken lantern. To go with all of our other resources that we collected. Glorious. All right, let's enter in these. Actually, before we do that, we might do all of our story events on this timeline. All right, so Lantern Year 1, we have a settlement event which is called First Day. Here is First Day. The First Day settlement event will help set up your settlement. It is the first event of any new campaign. So we roll 1d10 to determine our starting population, and it is a 3. Boo. 6 unnamed survivors plus returning survivors. That's unfortunate. 6. All right. We'll do that in a second. Plus returning survivors, and then we proceed to story event, returning survivors. So all right. Select a survivor to speak the first words. They gain 1 courage. Well, I know Mossy is quite partial to speaking, so we will nominate Mossy to speak the first words. She gains a courage. And we lead the other survivors, and we gain the language innovation, which is excellent. Our innovation deck will be built from that, which I'll do in a moment. Build the innovation deck, done. And then we gain the Lantern Horde at the glowing center of our settlement. The nominated survivor sits in front of the Lantern Horde and gains 1 understanding. They must skip the next hunt as they ponder the meaning of existence. So Mossy has gained a courage and an understanding, and she now skips the next hunt. Excellent. So that's the first of the stories that we need to do. If we go to our timeline, you can see that we also have the Approaching Storm, which is a Gorm event. And we also have Extinguished Guidepost, which is a Gambler's Chest event for the Scout. But I'm just going to close the thing off, stop recording, and add our 6 survivors. All right, the Approaching Storm, the Gorm story. A light appears on the horizon. You may now hunt the Gorm. Add Gorm Climate Settlement event to the timeline for next year. Boo. Gorm Climate sucks. And then nominated survivor, they gain 1 insanity and brave the storm. So we've added our survivors. We've got all of these people: Annabelle, Califax, Hunter, Ivy, Mace, Tornado. Tornado's going to brave the storm. Gain an insanity. All right, Tornado, roll a 1d10. That's a 3. The survivor stands in the torrent. Pulsing psychedelic lights strike them, bringing them to their knees in a flash of morbid inspiration. The nominated survivor takes a stone to their own eyes. They suffer the blind, severe injury and gain 1 permanent speed. Interesting. Alrighty, so we've braved the storm. So we have our death principle for losing what was it? Cyclone? Let's do, what story event's this one called again? This is called Extinguished Guidepost. There it is. A death pact is formed. They will return with a kill or not at all. Gain the death pact innovation. Death pact, which I've prepared here. Replace a random hunt event with a scout hunt event. I've done that already. Nominate a survivor to accompany the hunting survivors. A dreaded burden is lifted onto their shoulders. They are the scout, this Lanternier. They feel a grim responsibility. Annabelle, you are feeling a grim responsibility. So you will roll on this table, gain the Scout gear grid, roll 1d10. That's a 2. The Scout suffers -1 accuracy and evasion. It's not a promising start on some of these rolls, is it? All right. Annabelle is our scout, so she will be black. And she has a scout gear grid. Wonderful. All right, so we've done the Extinguished Guidepost. We've gained our language innovation. We've gained our Death Pact innovation. And we lost a survivor during the hunt, during the showdown, I should say. So we will also do our principal, Death. Unfortunately, it's a pretty straightforward one. We're not going to use Cannibalize because there's no Cannibalize philosophy to benefit from. So we are going to put down the first graves. We just build a monument with the first grave. Nominated survivor with tears in their eyes. They take a shard of rock from the grave and marks themselves with it. On a 6+, it's another luck. Should we do Mossy? Oh yeah, you get to decide after you roll. It's a 4. All departing survivors gain 1 survival and 1 understanding. We've rolled some absolute trash there. All right, so departing survivors. A proctophilia, we have to have a stinky. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Tornado, 5. So all of these survivors gain 1 survival and 1 understanding. All right, let's enter in our resources and we'll have a think about what we want to do with our first lantern year that we have. So, perfect hide, a broken lantern, a monster hide, a question marks, and a love juice. We're about to use the love juice, and then Frogdog ones. Frogdog, a waxy dermis, a spindly paw, a gaseous bladder, a tatty hide, another waxy dermis, and a mammary gland. All right. So the love juice we'll use for our death principle, or for our birth principle. We have 3 endeavours to spend. I think we will build the bonesmith and the organ grinder. So that will be 2 of our endeavours. 1, 2. And if we go to gear, what can we afford to build at the bonesmith? Bone dagger, skull helm, bone blade, bone axe. The bone axe is good. I didn't see a lot of super dense locations, so the bone axe could be quite good. Organ grinder. A monster grease. What's that going to cost us? Yeah, so we're definitely crafting a monster grease, which will allow us to depart with our dude. All right, so the decision now is, do we want to innovate or do we want to spend our resources on things that will help us survive? Let's do our birth principle and see what we get in terms of new survivors. So we shall use a love juice and we'll perform intimacy. Intimacy. She'll perform intimacy. A 6, we gain 1 population. So, survivors. Emma is going to have a baby. Sorry, Mossy. is going to have a baby with Annabelle. 2 girls. Bit of fun. And we'll have a female. Egret. Good. So we go to our principal new life. And is often the case that I go without mercy because I really like survival of the fittest. But yeah. Yep, we'll go with survival of the fittest. I just love those re-rolls so much. We roll a 10. The child is raised as a pure warrior, leaving compassion and fear behind. The newborn survivor gains 2 courage, the tough fighting art, and a random disorder, 2 courage. Go Egret. And let's see what the disorder that she gets is. We will whip out our disorder deck and shuffle it. Hopefully we don't get eproctophilia. All right, we get this one, and it is Fear of the Dark. Oh, that's good stuff from Egret. That's good stuff. 2 courage. Well, I don't think we can do anything about that. That's not even one. Yeah, great start. Love it. It's been for a very good first showdown. We've had a very bad first settlement. Okay, let me just look at our storage. What have we got in storage? We need some weapons. Do we go for a skinnery? Used our love juice. I think we'll keep all of those Frogdog. We use the mammary gland, but that's okay. I think we'll keep all of those just in case. No bone. Hide organ. Yeah, we're going to make 1 weapon. Yeah, we'll also use our endeavour to build. We're not going to innovate in the first Lanternier. We're instead going to make the skinnery, and we will craft a weapon with that and a piece of hide with that. What does it cost to build the monster tooth necklace? Need a heat. We don't have heat. All right, we will use we'll build a rawhide vest, and we will also build a weapon using this. I think we'll go for the axe. Doesn't that require an organ as well, though? It does require an organ. I really like the axe, though. Yeah, I don't know if that's bad or not. We'll just use the gaseous bladder, craft an axe. Still got our founding stones, so 1 axe, 1 monster grease, 1 rawhide vest. And that's all we got. We're going in with our hope and a prayer going into Lanternier 1. But we do have our death, a new life principle, which will give us an evasion and a strength. So principles, graves, survival of the fittest. So when we did our graves, does that mean our first person that was born? Actually, bonuses, graves, all new survivors, 1 understanding. Yes, so she would have had 1 understanding, Egret. Great. Well, that was our first Lantern year. Good start. We'll be back very soon for another showdown against the Frogdog and Lantern Year 1. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll catch you all then. Big Deno out.